Enbridge is asking for a capacity increase from 240,000 barrels per day to 300,000 barrels per day. So that's a 25% increase. But in the real world, for at least the last 3 years, and perhaps quite a bit longer than that, Line 9 has been flowing at 64,000. So to move it, or the increase in real time volumes from 64 to 300,000 is almost a quintupling of the volume. And that's the part that the public needs to be aware of. 300,000 is unprecedented. It's never carried that volume even in its younger days.
The test case that we always look at was the 2010 spill of an Enbridge pipeline in Marshall, Michigan. And 1 million gallons of oil flowed out of a leak over the course of about a day and a half.
Line 9's sister line, which is 6B in Michigan, which of course is the one that ruptured near Marshall, they were both put in around the same time. They're both 1/4 inch, but other than those two, so far no one has pointed to me another 30-inch pipeline which is that thin-walled, and certainly nothing that's thinner than that. So this line is quite unique in that respect.
About 8 months after the spill, we started learning that people were getting sick. They were having seizures, migraine, headache. Then we find out that it's causing liver damage and kidney damage. And so when I found out people were dying from it, I just was sick to my stomach, because Enbridge's MSDS sheet says that this type of oil, tar sand oil, causes all these symptoms.
Anywhere through the GTA, there's the risk of explosion, like we had at Lake Megantic. A major concern, and that was expressed by the City of Toronto, is sewers, because sewers, of course, are everywhere. There are 4 or 5 what I would call high consequence sites, like far beyond just being next to a home or something like that. 2 of them are seniors facilities. One is a West End high school. There's a very large complex of 4 apartments, 4 identical apartments near Jane and Finch. They're each 22 stories, 23 stories, I believe, high, on a dead-end road. The people in those apartments would be at exceptional risk if a rupture should occur. Enbridge claims to be able to prevent entry of oil into the sewers, but of course we know that's ridiculous. They also claim that they have ways of separating the oil from the water in containment areas through the sewer system, but when they were pressed on that, there was no sensible response to it.
Enbridge lied to all of us. So that's when I was starting to find out how bad it was health-wise. I was the yard boss for the biggest inland oil spill for the biggest yard in United States history. I took several news stations all around the country, and I showed them the oil that's at the bottom of this river. And then Enbridge recently, after they said it was 100% clean in 2012, and you could eat the fish, and your kids could swim in it, they were ordered, because of my videos and because of my complaint, and all the pressure that the press started putting on the EPA, EPA forced Enbridge to re-clean it up, costing several $100 million. But the problem is, if we have a leak, let's say the XL pipeline, TransCanada's making down to Texas, or Line 9, or any of them, they're going through hundreds of waterways. And the one that's going down to Texas, the XL pipeline, is going through 30% of the United States water. It's a humongous aquifer that if there is one spill, it's done.
A number of people pointed to the risk to water systems, the sewer system, city drinking water supply, the 2 nuclear reactors in Durham region, which require clean lake water for cooling those 2 reactors.
Well, the most dangerous impact is probably the contamination of water, groundwater.
People can lose wells, it can hit streams of water, it can flow into Lake Ontario. the potential for disaster is very real, and they've got to be careful with this thing.
Enbridge can't do a lot about the fact that they underbuilt it, that so much of the distance, I believe it's around 75 or perhaps even 80% of the entire length, is only quarter-inch, unless they're going to rip it all up and start over again. There's also the issue of location, that it was built through such an urban area. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't that urban 40 years ago, but it certainly is now. And being so close to the major rivers that feed Lake Ontario, again, it should have been moved further north and more heavily built. In my opinion, the line should simply be retired.
Well, it's a fact that without the pipeline, oil is being shipped by rail, and we've had a number of accidents in North America, spectacular accidents that have shown the danger of and the cost of shipping oil by rail. It's not fair to be able to burn fossil fuels and pollute and not have to pay for it. And it also makes a lot of economic sense to put a price on the burning of fossil fuels so that people make more rational choices when they decide what kind of energy to use.